Hey there. So there are two hot topics in Australia and particularly Melbourne right now. That is data security and the rain. So first, here's some ASMR of my backyard. And now on to data security. I've put together a bit of a presentation this time. You're welcome. New slide style thanks to Aaron Poles, thanks Home Slice. And this one is all about how to secure your online accounts, protect yourself from hackers, and minimize the impacts of a data breach, if such a thing was to happen. So there are 8 easy steps that I recommend. The first one is to check if your data is being breached. The second is to sign up for a password manager. Download the apps, get the browser extensions, set up your two-factor authentication, categorize and share with anyone else who needs access, get them set up, and then level up. So let me take you through these one by one. HaveIBeenPawned.com is a website that can check your email address against large known data breaches. So if you haven't been on there already, head along and see if your email address has been shared with anyone it shouldn't have. And if you've been listed there, that might be a site that's a candidate for changing your password. The next thing I recommend, if you haven't already, is to sign up for a password manager if you can afford it. The best one, well, in my opinion, the best one is 1Password. They do this handy little comparison on their own site, obviously quite biased. But there are others like LastPass, Dashlane, Bitwarden, RoboForm, Sticky, Password, and Keeper. So have a look at which one suits your budget and your needs and sign up for one of those. Once you've got it, you'll need the apps. So if you use a computer and a phone, those would be the two main ones to get the native apps installed onto first. And then get the browser extensions. So if you're a Safari user or a Chrome user or Firefox, whatever your browser is, they typically have a browser extension that looks kind of like this, which means that it'll look for the URL in the saved password and prompt you to kind of autofill based on that URL. So it just saves you having to find it. But when you're at that site, it'll automatically suggest the password that's relevant. Super handy. And here's what it looks like in action. So as you start typing on any of the sites you go to, it'll auto suggest in line what the password might be. It just makes it heaps easier than having to remember many passwords, and it's better than having the same password for everything, which you should not do. So setting up two-factor authentication, there's a whole other video on that which I also recommend checking out, but it gives you that extra layer of security aside from having a different password for each account. If something offers two-factor authentication, I recommend using that as well. Once you are set up, you can use tags or vaults to categorize or share passwords. For example, if they're passwords that other people need access to and need to know if they change. And using the tags can also be a good way of grouping things if you want to see all the passwords in your app that relate to a particular project or relate to your home or to your finances or whatever else is useful to you. So have a think about what you need. Some of this stuff can happen as you use it. You'll see how you need to set it up, and maybe you don't need categories if you don't have too many passwords. So once you've got all of that in place, getting set up is a bit of a process. The first thing, if you haven't used a password manager before, you'll need 1Password that becomes the key to all your other passwords, and that 1Password is the only one that you'll need to remember, and you're going to be typing it a lot. So make it something cool or something that you're going to enjoy typing, or maybe something that's going to bring you good feelings. You might want to make it a passphrase like strong, calm, and centered, or I am bliss and happy, or whatever floats your boat. Choose a password that you're going to be happy to type many, many times, and make it something unguessable. So something that doesn't have, personal information or the usual kind of password tricks, because if that password gets hacked, you're screwed. when you're getting set up, do choose a different password for every account. Getting set up on a password manager is a great opportunity to change over those passwords as you're adding them to this password manager. You don't need to do it all in one day. You can, as you're logging into things, add them to the app. You can do it sort of incrementally over time. But the app will also suggest a secure password so that you can change them over and make them all different, which is the whole point. And then to level up with your data security, there's some neat little hacker tricks like having a site that looks identical to a familiar site but changing like one letter of the URL. So sometimes this will come through via an email that kind of looks the same, or an SMS, or there might be some other site that links you across. So even if a site looks really legit, check the URL really carefully, because one letter off can appear the same but actually be sending your details to the wrong people. You might also want to start checking links before you click on them. So when you're in an article, especially when it's maybe a less credible or a smaller kind of site that you haven't been on before, when you hover over the link, you'll be able to see where that link is actually going to take you. So have a little quick check before you get taken off the site is a good way to kind of make sure you're not going into unknown territory. And another kind of bonus points exercise is using an email alias. So whatever your email address, for example at Gmail, if you put a dash and then some other word, it'll actually send all emails to your original account. So have a look into how that works, and that can be a good way to just keep your email addresses unique to each service you sign up to. Bit of a next level kind of process, but it can be handy, and then you can see who has sold your data if that happens. So those are the steps. As you start to use the password manager, I promise it gets easier. The worst part is getting it set up and getting used to how it works. But once you have it, you kind of have the peace of mind that your accounts are all secure, and as you use it over time, you'll find that you can sort by when was the last date I updated a password, and that can be your catalyst to update something if it's bottom of the list. These are the steps. Happy password managing, and let me know if you enjoyed this, or if there's anything else that you want to learn about data security, because I seem to be learning a lot more about it myself these days. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to get those 100 subscribers. That would be so fantastic. Thank you. Bye.